Hello everybody and welcome to Alex Bites. I'm your host, Alex Delanar, and I have for you another cast of Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. We've got my fourth cast up of the 1v1 ladder match, this time between ZLO and, I know I'm gonna butcher this, let's call him Qfwfq. I have no announcements, so let's go right into the game. Let the game begin. Let's start by splitting off our screens and introducing both of our players. Up in the top left we have ZLO, who is very happy about things. I don't blame him, life is wonderful, with a very admirable score of 2,138. ZLO, good on you, mate. Indeed, he does well. And in our bottom right player, also with an admirable score of 1903, we have Qfwfq. For those of you interested in trivia, 1903 also happens to be the year that the first musical of The Wizard of Oz introduced in New York City. So, there you go. Awesome stuff. For those of you interested in what ZLO's year represents, I'm sad to say that that year is in the future. Current events have yet to catch up. And also, because I'm going to keep saying Qfwfq a different way every single time I try and say his name, I looked up his alias in advance, and it turns out that he used to go by Thomas Hyatt. So, that's what I'm going to call you, Qfwfq. You are now Thomas. And without further ado, I do digress. Let's see what both of these players are doing. We have ZLO here starting with first land, and it seems that he's going straight into an air factory afterwards, of course, as soon as he gets his initial build order set up. And we have Thomas here setting up with something very similar, though it looks like his factories are planned out a little further out. He looks like he's going for land, and he wants to claim that hydrocarbon right away to get that delicious adjacency bonus. And we see ZLO expanding. For those of you who noticed the little top right corner there, I have indeed installed a new UI mod, Supreme Scoreboard. And let me tell you, this thing looks beautiful. It gives you the mass, it gives you the energy coming in, it gives you a total reclaimed, all that good stuff. Oh, it's good. And we can see these guys are just about neck and neck, with Qfwfq here taking a slight edge in the early game, but I doubt that's going to play any kind of role here to begin with. At the very least, if it does, these guys are far more skilled than I am. Let's go ahead and join up that view. Actually, nah, let's keep it in there. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Until the action picks up, it definitely gives us something to look forward to look at, so to speak. Let's get that minimap on, and let's get things going here. As both these players slowly march out, we can see a lab coming out from ZLO, and also a lab coming out from Thomas. As things slowly pick out, these guys are slightly moving out of the map, and maybe at a certain point we'll see some action happening, but it's a pretty large map. That's for sure, so it's going to take just a moment. And tell you what, let's go ahead and zoom out. I changed my mind yet again, because we want to get a nice expansive view of things here. We've got some labs moving out from, or just a single lab moving out from ZLO up along this end here. Looks like he's gunning right for the base, but it looks like Thomas here is planning some early defense. He's got himself a light tank and a scout coming in, and that engineer is making a beeline to make a wall right in here. So this one over here is going to be like Hadron's Wall or something, and he isn't wanting any units to go through. I'm pretty sure Hadron's Wall is a thing. Isn't that the one that went up in England? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know a lot of things. Either way, it looks like we have that little early lab coming in there, so a lab and a scout, while a slightly meager improvement over a single lab will indeed be enough to get that job done. And we have the very first casualty of war, two in fact, that lab from ZLO going down, but taking that scout down with him, darn it. And we can see that lab is going to have free reign on that engineer if he can come to pass. It looks like he's making a little beeline there and right back over to the mechs. Nice little bit of Q command there to try and keep him alive. And also, I forgot to mention all this air that we're seeing out in the field. Just a couple scouts here so far, but it looks like Thomas here has come out with the bomber right away. The question is he going to do any damage? We have a interceptor. Interceptor, I should say, out here for defense. So if Thomas here is able to do anything, I anticipate it will be short. Although at the moment the interceptor being distracted by that scout, so perhaps that bomber is going to get a little more damage done than he otherwise would. Looks like ZLO is going to go ahead and chase that scout away. That's right, curse you, scout! He threatened that interceptor's mother and he doesn't like it. So instead, oh wait a second, I passed it up, there was another scout waiting here. Another interceptor waiting here to take out that bomber. If we take a look at the damage dealt, it looks like we had just some poor little engineer corpse here. Oopsies, that's the ground. Anyway, at the very least, the bomber killed somebody. And that's what matters. And we have a I was about to say some early aggression from the ACU, but no, this is indeed Thomas's side of the map, so I wouldn't really call that aggressive yet. As both commanders race out here, it looks like Thomas got there slightly faster. We'll see if he's actually able to make anything of that. And we have the wall going up here. Not too much happening on that side, and ZLO here, absolutely determined to take that air advantage. Indeed, he's got himself set up with, it looks like, 6 interceptors. It looks like he's got 10 air units out on the map altogether, with only 2 for Thomas. So it looks like air-wise, ZLO is taking a very dominating position. We'll see if he's able to make anything happen. Oh, I'm getting shudders, let me tell you. Last game I played on ladder, not the last game, but a last game soon enough, I did not react very well to the air advantage to my opponent, and I got wrecked with gunships. Haha, I'm getting flashbacks, they're terrible. We'll see if ZLO is able to make any other kind of magic happen with that. Either way here, it looks like, actually, it looks like it clicked over here to the kill-loss ratio. A nice little neat feature as well. We see that ZLO is oh, it just swaps between them, I see. It looks like ZLO here is much better off in terms of the kill count there, so good on him. But we have a slight little aggressive here, a little aggressive stance there. Looks like ZLO opting not to build a wall. He read that good walls do not make good neighbors and went with it, but it turns out that Thomas here is a bad enough neighbor. He really should have kept him out. One max going down, and we have a little, oh wait, I was about to say we have a tank running away, but a bomber out from ZLO is going to clean that up before these guys make anything happen. Anyway, we have the initial kind of standoff forming here in there. There may not be any units for the standoff, but we have both of the ACUs angrily glaring at each other from across the way. And eventually, this bomber will clear up, and we'll have all the units tidied up pretty quick. But Thomas over here, pretty determined to try and take over half of the map, that greedy fellow. He's sending some units out to make sure that there are no engineers building anything on this side, because Thomas wants it for himself. But ZLO over here, uncontested in the air, is gonna have none of that. But it looks like Thomas here, sensing his lack of air superiority, is rolling out with some thistles. I like saying thistle. Try saying thistle 5 times fast. Thistle, it's hard, but hard to say, and also hard against interceptors. Those guys are not going to appreciate it. As these guys all slowly converge on the center, it looks like Thomas here was thinking about doing a little cheeky run by again, but opted to change his mind and come out to the center instead, to the safety of this Seeker, the T1 anti-air turret. And it looks like that Scorcher may be getting range, not quite. It looks like maybe he spotted that and decided, you know what, that bomber, he wants to live. And so those Auroras there are going to get taken out, no problem. And we have the ZLO chasing those interceptors down from Thomas there, taking a little bit of anti-air fire there, and he's going to run over quite a few more. But I have a feeling he'll keep most of those guys alive, and oh, Thomas just keeps his interceptors there. They are going to go down, but it looks like ZLO is going to lose at least 1 interceptor for that, but he definitely took the edge on that engagement. So, while those initial bouts of units definitely look like it was going on Thomas's side of the map, it looks like ZLO's air superiority is going to go ahead and wrest that map control back. And it looks like ZLO, perhaps thirsty for more blood than his bombers are giving, is going to go ahead and upgrade the gun on his commander. Maybe that's just a smart thing to do in general. I see it happening a lot. I definitely should start doing that in the games of my own. And taking a brief break from the not much action happening, admittedly. Taking a look at these scores here, it looks like they are about neck and neck in terms of mass, but Thomas here has claimed about 700 mass more. We'll see if he's able to make anything from it, but with all this air here, he's going to have a tough time keeping safe. And it looks like in response, perhaps, although he doesn't know what ZLO is doing with his commander, he's decided to upgrade his gun as well. Both commanders looking to get right into the thick of it, as the Thistles scare the interceptors away, and ZLO manages to establish a few bit of mass up here in the top. Whew, man, saying things is hard. And also, it looks like he decided to build a little wall as well, because yes, he doesn't want any more units poking through. As things go into effect here, we're just going to take a moment to appreciate the fine action. And let's just take a look here real quick while things are quiet. Let's just see what both players have going on in base. We have ourselves a the Chew factory just going up, so it looks like maybe he's thinking of really pressing that air advantage. If we take a look production-wise, ZLO only has 2 air factories and 1 land factory, so it looks like he's definitely going ham on that, rushing out some engineers right away. He's definitely going to make some airplay happen, that's for sure. And we have an engagement from Thomas pressing out here. ZLO has not much to counter right now, but is he going to roll anything out too? It looks like at the moment, no. ZLO is happy to get out a couple engineers and then go on his way. Thomas is definitely going to get to enjoy a couple kills. And if we take a look what's going on in Thomas's base here, he has gone to T2 for the land factory. But actually it looks like he has, what does he have going there? It looks like he was going to go for T3. Ooh, and change his mind? Nope, he's got that going back again. So it looks like Thomas here going for a very early tech rush and promptly changing his mind. I don't blame him. That would probably take quite a while. And you definitely want to make something happen now, buddy. Of course, I am a lowly 200 player. I certainly don't know too much what I'm talking about, but it is so much easier to critique somebody else's play than it is to do your own. Either way, it looks like he's got a bit more on the land front there. But we have a very first stinger coming out for ZLO, so yes, he's going the gunship style, and he's rushing out more indeed. Let's see how much he has planned to come out. Oh, he has at least 10 gunships coming out, so that's certainly going to be fun. Let's go ahead and go back into a single screen here, because we've got an engagement going in the very front here. We have commander versus commander standoff. Looks like Thomas here is getting shoved back a little bit. I don't blame him. That UEF commander, look at him, so beefy and tanky with that giant gun here. Oh man, that's the size of at least 20 Mies. That would certainly scare me, that's for sure. As he's just running him off. Indeed, the ACUs from the other factions are indeed weaker, aren't they? With 1,000 less health. And of course, let's not forget that gun upgrade for ZLO was slightly bit stronger than Thomas's. But it looks like eventually ZLO gonna get tired of the chase, tired of the hunt, will come back to base. Nice little fireplace to call his own, and I'm hearing shots going down. It looks like we have the gunship here just poking and prodding at these units by Thomas. And indeed, we have that air superiority really paying off for ZLO. If you take a look at the air here, we have 35 air units from ZLO with the meager 4 for Thomas. Indeed, it looks like air is going to be firmly in ZLO's control, perhaps for the entire game. We'll find out. And we have more gunships coming out, and I certainly would be scared, as we have perhaps a little... Nope, he's content. It looks like these engineers here are simply going to stand here, stand point. They maybe confuse themselves with tanks, and they're maybe going to get a little cocky, because it looks like Thomas's units are going to move back, which is maybe going to get these guys a little more confidence than they deserve. And they're going to take that confidence and try and build a point defense, but it's right in range of Thomas's commander busy upgrading, so he's certainly multitasking well, isn't he? And he's going to chase that back a little bit, and these guys are going to perhaps wisely decide to build that turret a little bit further back. As these guys continue to look angrily at each other from across the canyon, it looks like Thomas perhaps is getting bored with that standoff and is going to go ahead and do a little rush. But the question is, will he have enough? He's getting in right before the... Oh, you don't want to stop, buddy. You want to stop that point defense. It looks like that little slowdown that he got is going to let that point defense turret get up. And then I don't know about him, but I'd be pretty scared about that. He's going to be shooting that down, but actually doing some pretty good damage. It looks like he's going to destroy that right away if nothing happens to ZLO. But ZLO going in for the clutch repair is going to stay alive. It's a close thing. Oh no, it looks like Thomas here decided to back off a little bit. Come on, Thomas, finish off that point defense. Oh no, but Thomas backs out at the very last second and keeps that alive. Instead, he's just going to keep eating those shots from the UEF commander there. ZLO happily wailing away at his Aeon enemy as he just stands there and tanks those shots, which, let me tell you, it's probably not going to work out well in Thomas's favor, especially with the amount of gunships we have going up for ZLO. If we take a look here and see, oopsies, that was the wrong button. ZLO currently up to 8 gunships here, and if Thomas is going to have his commander weakened like that at 2,000 shots, come on, Thomas, pull your commander back, man. You've got me at the edge of my seat. But indeed, he finally decides that perhaps retreat is the better part of valor, and decides to slowly amble away. But he better get himself some anti-air set up right now, otherwise we have a gunship snipe on the way from ZLO. Oh, we're getting that flashbacks, just like I was talking about. The gunship snipes, they're real. As ZLO here, perhaps really taking that lesson to heart about those units coming through the canyon here, has decided, you know what? Why make one wall when you can make 5? And you know what, ZLO? I don't blame you. The more walls the merrier, as we have perhaps these gunships here planning on doing something, or perhaps just hiding away. He wants to keep that a secret. He doesn't want to clue anything in there. As he goes in for repair on the commander, I don't blame him. Perhaps seeing the stark red of his enemy has decided I never want to get to that point in life. And we have Thomas here, perhaps sensing weakness, or sensing his own weakness, perhaps spotting those gunships, and suddenly realized, oh crap, I need health, has started his shield upgrade. We'll see if that keeps him alive through the game. And let's just take a look at what he's getting up here. It looks like he's rushing out to T3 land, and rushing out that anti-artillery. I don't quite blame him. Those gunships are certainly seeming scary, but what do we have next up here? He's just rushing out more air, and then we have the striker, the sniper bots in here. We'll see how well those guys are able to push that tide of battle. Certainly is going to counter anything ZLO has on the field, who is currently committing very, very little to land. If we take a look at land units here, ZLO is certainly behind. So, if Thomas can hold off that gunship attack, that's surely going to be coming at some point. It looks like ZLO, humored by something. Perhaps he likes the sniper bots. Who's to say? So ZLO happy by the situation, but hey, you know what? Life's a wonderful place, and there are lots of wonderful things happening. The world could use a little more laughter. As that spider bot goes in, just pokes cheekily at the commander here. If we take a look, I don't know actually how much damage a spider bot does. It looks like spider bots do 950 damage. Well, hey, that's pretty decent, but it's not exactly a huge dent on the commander. So the only question is, what are these two players planning? Well, these spider bots are going to slowly pick away at that point defense here, as he slowly takes some shots down. And yeah, actually those spider bots, terrifically effective against the point defense. ZLO here is going to want to make something happen, or else he might get overwhelmed by the land. And it looks like he is maybe deciding to counter that with some tactical missile defense, I should say. Perhaps sensing, or just worried about some missiles coming in. Looks like he's just sending in some air scouts on repeat. Those guys, poor things, being hired in just to suicide themselves against the land army, because let me tell you, this is not the most efficient scouting path. But oh hey, we've got gunships on the move here. Perhaps ZLO, sensing blood, has decided to start coming in with those gunships here. Perhaps sensing that he needs to make a play now. Certainly he doesn't want to run those gunships into the army though, because that is a lot of anti-air. And as much damage as those gunships might be able to do, they will indeed most likely crumble against that flak artillery. We'll see. We've got the commander rushing in under the defense of his anti-air, as he just continues to pressure this little forward fire base from ZLO with that shield that is just about to go down. After that, we're probably going to see defenses go down, but he is worried about that. He senses his shield's about to go kaput, and he hurriedly rushes up another one. As that anti-air continues to just shoot at those air scouts there, padding their kill counts, making them feel very confident in life, as we have a slight kill advantage going over to Qfwfq, or Thomas I should say. I knew I'd say it wrong again. As we have a little bomber here, cheeky from Thomas there, deciding to try and hit that hydrocarbon, but that was never destined to be. These guys, however, are definitely going to take out the mass extractor. And down it pops. Oh, but we have ourselves a little attack of the engineers here. Looks like these engineers have decided, you know what, we can be heroes too. Ah, but we have the gunships coming out, taking out the units, taking out the anti-air, and Thomas isn't able to deliver this. What are these engineers doing? It looks like they might be going on an aggressive reclaim of the units there. And yes, we can see him aggressively reclaiming the anti-air artillery. That is just hilarious. I would have never thought to do that. Hurriedly putting up some point defense here, pressuring that commander. And if that anti-air goes down, then that means those gunships are completely uncontested. Come on, ZLO, send in the gunships. Punish Thomas for his transgressions, whatever he did. Punish him for being Aeon, I should say. And he doesn't even need the gunships. The commander gets crushed by the land. Oh, it looks like that maybe those sniper bots were not the tough force he had, and ZLO perhaps agreeing, thinking maybe he needed some tougher T3 units, as perhaps, actually, hang on a second, we have a Harbinger, a little too late to the party, coming just as the commander is turned into a smoking wreck, thinking maybe if only I had come here faster I could have helped, but sorry Harbinger, your time is not today. And I was so excited about seeing those gunships try and snipe Thomas down, but it didn't end up being necessary. That hurried point defense and that aggressive engineer rush, very cute thing, ended up winning ZLO the game. So an excellent match between the two players, I would say. Both of them definitely fantastic in every regard, but ZLO taking the edge. And there we have it, this match on Volcano Duel, ZLO taking the win. I hope you all have enjoyed the game as much as I have. This has been Alex Bites, and we are signing off.